Hello. Hi. Oh, wow. Susan. Um, First live class. Now, do I know you? Are you in any of my other programs? Or will you please let me know how I know you? Or is this just your first class and I've never met you before? And if that's the case, can you please let me know if there's anything in particular that I need to know about your body? Carolyn, hello. Shannon, good morning. Lynn, good morning. Jeannie, Lynn, Joyce, Rosemary, and Kathy. Good morning, ladies. Exciting, exciting. Here we go. Focusing on our bones and so much more, right? This might be called yoga for osteoporosis, and that may be what got you to come here. And I'd like to say that osteoporosis, um, that, yeah, I'd like to say that we get a diagnosis and then that actually, I guess the good thing about that is it gives us this ability to focus on ourselves. So let's say that there's a great self-care aspect where we now get to focus on ourselves in a way that we might not have. And we're going to strengthen our bones and the muscles that support them and our raised awareness on our bones and our alignment and how we can actually stand differently, move differently, bring awareness to our daily movement patterns to strengthen our bones and many of the aspects of our bone health. So I'd like to say that. And yeah, let me see. Okay. So let me see. What else? Dina, good morning, or aloha, as you would say. Liz, good morning. And I'm not sure if I know you either. So if you guys want to tell me anything, any of the new people, Susan, brand new. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Well, even though I'm going to direct this class, you're really going to listen to the voice inside your body that tells you what's appropriate movements and not. I do a lot of descriptions so that I try to help you keep yourself safe because it's really important. Um, Lynn's cousin. Okay, great. Lynn, as in Lynn and Dave Lynn, or the other Lynn. So anyway, this is lovely. So we have some new people. Great. Well, I know we can't see each other. Okay. Linda. All right, Linda. I'm so happy you're here. Great. Okay, good. So Linda, because it said Lynn, right? So Linda. Okay. Oh, perfect. Um, oh, great. Lynn Staub. Yep. Well, this is awesome. So welcome the new ladies. And I'd like to say that this class is something that I've taught for a long time, almost 7 years. And we can't see each other, but we are all here together with the same intention. And today's class, I was going to kind of shift a little anyway. So that's good for my ladies that normally practice with me. And then for those that never practice with me, oh, well, this will all be new for you anyway. So, aw, isn't that cute? Right. Okay. Well, here we are. So for today's practice, I would love it if you could have a chair, if you'd like a chair. Not only if you'd like a chair, actually, we're going to use a chair today. So you see how my chair actually doesn't have any legs? I mean, doesn't have a back. There's not a lot of chairs like this. We actually created this. I banged out the back because with yoga, I need it for certain things, and then there's certain things I'd rather not have. And then most of you will not have that. But what I would like you to try to find is a chair without arms. That would be good. And we're going to use the chair. We're going to use the chair to begin. You don't have to use it for that part, but we will be using the chair today for our balance work and to get some nice alignment and then some really great strength in our body. So even if you're brand new and you haven't practiced a lot, you don't have a lot of strength yet in certain aspects of your body, don't worry. There are 800 muscles in the body. Well, there's at least 600. And then depending on whether we call this one muscle a muscle or four pieces, quadricep, it's quadricep, there's four pieces. So is it one as in a quadricep or is it four individual muscles? So let's say we have about 800. And so that gives us a lot of muscles to work with, and not just the big ones that we see, not just the moving muscle group, but other aspects. So for the beginning of class, we make this intentional shift from human doing to human being. And that may be more of a challenge and not so familiar if you're newer to the practice. So, this is a way if we were driving our car 100 miles an hour, which we're mostly doing all day, right? Thinking, worrying, being in our heads. This is now putting the brakes on and slowing down the car from 100 miles an hour to either stopped or 5 miles an hour. And when we do this, we actually can notice, see the scenery if we were really in a car, and then notice things inside of our body and our mind. And that becomes really important. So, for today's practice, I'd like you to get a strap and or a block. If you do not have a strap and you do not have a block, you can get a robe strap. You could get a belt from your closet. And then you're going to need a blanket. So it could be a yoga blanket or any other kind of blanket will do. Better to make sure that you don't have anything slippery. So quite often we have those softer, slippery blankets. Better to have something a little bit more, it's not going to slip. And especially if you stand up, when we stand up today, having it near the floor. So that's important. I have a chair here without the back, which lets me put my entire leg here. For some of you, it may be better to actually have your legs, your chair to the side so that your legs can be supported. You want your entire leg on there. And if you don't have a chair, that's okay. You can have a bolster underneath your hips or have your legs just go straight. This is to help ground the hip deep in the socket, really get this deeply rooted, and to soften the back, to take away some tension off of some of the deep muscles of the body. So we always begin on the floor, and that's where for some of the newer people, sometimes that's a little challenge to go slow. For the others, they love it. So when you have osteoporosis coming down onto the floor, this is the way we're going to come down. You're going to come to the side and you're going to reach your hand away to keep the shoulder blade on the back of the body so that you can come all the way down. And then if you do have access to a chair, I'd like you to have your legs on the chair so that the entire leg, meaning that all the way to the back of the upper thigh, is touching the surface you're on. And if you don't have this, one thing that's really nice sometimes if you're practicing in your living room is to put your legs up your sofa. So when I'm teaching people at home now, since we're doing more home practice, which is ironic, that's really where yoga takes place in India, is in people's homes, the birthplace of yoga. So we're actually getting to be a little more authentic in our practice being at home. Maybe for you, if you're near a chair or a sofa, you could put your legs up. And then when we come into this, let's close the eyes, bringing your awareness to everything that you start to notice. So maybe it may be the activity of the mind. It may be that there is a challenge there for slowing down. Or maybe right away you're a little bit away from your body. So say your awareness is about 10 feet away from you. So wherever it is, you can notice that aspect. Notice where you are and how far away you are from you. And then let's take our hands, rub our hands together, feeling the heat generating in the palms. Feel the fingertips touch the palms touch the fingertips. Go pretty quick here. And then take your hands on your belly. Spread your hands on your belly. Let the thumbs be near your lower ribs. So even press your thumbs into your body. There's a little softness there of the belly. Just notice the lower rib cage with your thumbs. Go gently here. Just feel the ribs, the bottom of the ribs. They come a little higher in the center. And then right below these ribs is the primary breathing muscle, the diaphragm. So let's let the hands rest on the belly. And then press your head into the floor. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other. So you're activating those upper back muscles between the shoulder blades to slide the shoulder blades together. Feel your shoulder blades resting on the floor. So we're getting gravity here to help us find some alignment in our bodies. And then let the hands just rest where they are. Spread the fingers. And then gently press the fingertips into the belly just a little bit. Now, if you happen to notice something in this area of your body, maybe some extra stored energy. See it as that. See it as, okay, there's a little something I've got in storage that I need to utilize at a later date, knowing that that is a possibility. Keep the eyes closed. Feel the center of the head on the floor. Feel that connection of the center of the head. And bring your awareness to the shoulder blades, feeling those shoulder blades on the floor. Let's do a little here to activate, raise your awareness to your deep core muscles that will be hugging your spine. So bring your awareness to your tummy. Gently visualize that there's a tennis ball in the tummy, right on top of the spine. You bring your awareness to that tennis ball and gently press the tennis ball towards the spine. And at first, you could let it flatten the low back. Go slow. Feel that movement. So go slow to feel everything you feel, noticing what you notice. And then soften. And then one more like that. Slowly, gently contract, pressing the belly button to the spine. And then slowly release. Now you're going to press the belly button to the spine, but don't let the spine move. So you activate the core, pressing the belly towards the spine. The low ribs move a little, and the low back doesn't move to the floor. And then do that one more time. Go slow so you feel everything coming towards center, activating slowly, pressing towards the top of the spine, deeply turning on those deep internal core and supportive muscles of your body, and then release. Feel the shoulder blades. Slowly start to press the shoulder blades, the outside edges of the arms towards the floor, and then release. Go slow when you release. And then one more. Pressing shoulder blades to the floor. Feel that. And then slowly release. Bring your awareness to the back of the head. Press the back of the head into the floor slowly. You may feel that going all the way down your spine. So notice what you notice when you do that. And then release. Do that one more time. And then release. Let's take the arms out to the side. So the upper arms are on the floor. Raise the upper arms a little bit. Let the palms be open towards the sky. This is a scarecrow arm position. Here, letting gravity soften the muscles that are in the joints, the muscles of posture. Maybe you feel a stretch or arms attached to your body. So noticing that, especially those of you that have issues of tightness in your upper back and neck. So pay attention here. Lengthen your head as if someone gently had their hands on your ears and was gently adding a little traction to your neck. Then find the center of the head in the blanket behind your head. Palms are up. Let the weight of the arms go to the floor and then gently press the arms towards the floor. And then soften slowly. So we've aligned ourselves here to let gravity do a little work in opening our body. Your awareness back to those low ribs. Beginning to direct the breath down to the lower ribs. Breathing, feel the belly rise, feel the low ribs rise. Begin to feel the side of the low ribs rise and move sideways with breath, as if you could see yourself breathing, keeping the mouth closed, breathing in and out through your nose. Re-energizing your internal environment, slowing down the inside
so that it can shift to the place of repairing and restoring and not breaking down. Breathing to the lower ribs. Let's visualize that around you is an inner tube, right where the lower ribs are, the middle of the torso. And as you breathe, you expand your whole middle torso into this inner tube, 1 inch all the way around. As you inhale, your midsection gets wider. And then it contracts back to center. On the exhale, feel your body soften, feel the heaviness of your body, the legs deeply in the sockets, the arms falling towards the floor, feeling the heaviness. Inhale, expand your middle torso. Feel the back of the body as you inhale. Feel the pressure towards the floor as the lower ribs press towards the floor. Take 3 more breaths like this. Feel those low ribs pressing into the floor. And then wherever you are, finish your last breath. Bringing awareness to fingers, toes, ankles, wrists. Take your arms straight overhead. Shake, shake, shake. Let those shoulder joints sit deep in the sockets. Do a little bit of like pistons on the car with the elbows straight. Then inhale, let your arms go overhead. Try to touch the floor with the hands if you can. Exhale back to center. Palms are facing each other, thumbs lead the way. Inhale overhead. Exhale back to center. And then one more inhale. And then exhale back to center. Bring one knee into your chest, bring the other knee into your chest, and rock side to side. The knees are in really deep, so you feel the top of the back of the pelvis pressing into the floor, and you feel yourself giving yourself a nice low back massage. And then let's roll on to the right side. Now you're going to move thoughtfully in your body to keep your body safe. Cradle the head with the right arm. Take the left hand on the floor in front of you and spread your fingers, elbows up towards the sky. You're going to look down at your hand and then push the floor to lead with your left shoulder. Make sure it's not your head. Go slow. It's going to be hard, but we're working on keeping our muscles strong and keeping our bones strong. So we want to move slow so that we're in those areas as long as we can be. Definitely harder to go slower. So if you did have a chair, let's move it off to the side. We'll do a little bit here to warm up postural muscles, do a couple of poses on the floor. Let's actually have a block for this part. So if you don't have a block, so a yoga block would be great. And if you don't have a yoga block, have a towel or something that you could roll up into a ball. We'll use that today in our practice. Let's bring yourself onto your tushy. We're going to warm up the hip joints here. Take your feet off the mat. You're sitting on your buttocks and move back and forth so you actually feel the bones that are in your buttocks. Take your hands on the floor and your feet are really wide here. Notice what you notice here. So notice everything that you notice. Notice if this is stimulating, if it triggers anything in you. If there is a trigger in you, raise that to your awareness. Tell yourself where you are, what day this is, what time it is, exactly where you are at this moment. Repattern any kind of triggers that may come into our body, because they do, because issues sit in our tissues. And then let your knees move to the side. So you come onto one buttock, the other buttock comes away from the floor, and you've rolled onto one buttock, complete internal rotation in one hip, external in the other, and then slowly roll through the very center of your tushy all the way over to the other buttock. Feel that. Your arms can move off the floor a little bit. Go slow here. Maybe if this feels a little too intense, to let the tushy come off because that's a little deep, maybe at first you just allow the legs to move in and feel your feet rolling through the soles of the feet to the edges. So this is kind of your way to start in terms of our internal, external hip rotators, warming them up. It's a windshield wiper action. And then the next time you come over to the left, stay there. Let your body find this. Notice what you notice, and then bring yourself back to center, slowly coming to the other. So these are little muscles that are on your hip joint. And bring yourself back to center. Let's bring our feet onto the mat. Pick your tushy up for a second. Put your tushy back down. And then hold on behind your thighs. Walk your feet closer to your body. And then come into a balanced area. You're balancing on your tailbone. And I want you to do a little rocking back and forth action to feel the round edge of the buttock bones. The pelvis is like rocking chair legs. Feel that. And then the next time you come up, you're going to come up into what's called Navasana boat pose. So this is the first stage. Maybe you need to stay here with your arms. If you're able to challenge yourself and take your hands off, feel like you're zippering up your belly, like you're lying on a bed trying to zipper up super tight jeans. And as you zipper up, you've got to suck your tummy away from the zipper so that you activate those deep core muscles. If you need to hold on, hold on. Reach your chest forward. Look across the room, almost up towards the ceiling. So your heart is reaching up. There's no roundness in your spine. Core, hip flexors engaged and fired up to hold you up here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down slowly. Feel the heat of the core here, protective. Let's continue with that. Let's come down onto the floor. So when you come to your side here, reach that arm away to keep that shoulder blade on your back body, to keep your spine nice and natural curve, not flexed. Blanket is behind your head here. So we are going to do some core work. If you know you have a lot of tension in your upper back and neck, and if you know you have tension in your spine, having a little more support behind your head may be more comforting. And try to put the least amount of blanket that you need. So we can start to soften up any kind of roundness that exists in your thoracic spine or tension in the upper spine. Let's take your take your hands up towards the sky, kind of how we just began. We're going to do a little cross crawl, firing up our core muscles here. So let's bring one knee in and then the other knee. So depending on what your level is, when the knees are above the pelvis and when the legs go farther away from the body, that's more challenging. So if you're a little new or you're nursing an injury or taking care of yourself a little bit today, you could bring your knees into your chest. You'll feel your low back flatten on the floor. And maybe your toe tip is either right here, or maybe it's just a movement without going all the way down. Let's take the hands straight up, the palms face each other. If you're going to go into a little bit of a stronger work, keep your knees over your pelvis. Inhale, let the left hand go behind you. Don't let the right hand move as you come back to center. Inhale, let the right hand go behind you. Don't let the left hand move to come back to center. Inhale, left hand. Keep that right hand where it is, and then move the right hand independent of the left. Come back to center. Take your right toe, tap it down like you're testing the bath water to see if it's cool enough for you to go in, and bring your leg back up. Inhale, and on the exhale, zipper up your midsection like you're putting tight jeans on. All right, we're going to do both. We're going to do a diagonal pattern here. As you inhale, you let your left hand go back, you touch your right toe down to the floor, zipper up your jeans, contract your core to bring your limbs back to center. Don't let the right hand move at all. Inhale, only that leg and that hand move, and then you exhale back to center. Don't move the other hand at all. Inhale, farther away you go from your body with your leg, the more challenging it is. Do what's appropriate for you. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale back to center. Inhale, lengthen. Back to center. One more each side. Bring your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Let's take the block, coming into our bridge pose, strengthening the back of the body. Let's take the blanket away from the back of the head, lengthen the head back, tuck the chin down towards the chest. So we are going to come up. So if this feels intense at first, we are going to lift our body up so it won't once we come up. Lengthen your neck so your chin goes towards your chest. The block is between your thighs. Let's walk the feet closer to the thighs. Push your feet into the floor. Squeeze the block, squeeze the tushy. Let the low back touch the floor. And then you're going to peel your spine away from the floor one vertebra at a time. Slowly, go slow. So you feel the lower rib come off. Then you feel the next vertebra, the next vertebra. You feel yourself going up towards your heart. For those of you that clasp, you could go ahead and clasp, squeezing the block, squeezing the tushy. Move your knees away. And then bend your elbows for those of you that are newer or clasping is not for you. Bend the elbows, palms face each other. Squeeze the block, push your feet into the floor, lift your tushy away from the floor. Strengthening the back of the body, the postural muscles. Bring your awareness to your shoulder blades. Press them into your spine, to your rib cage, and press your heart up toward your nose. Feel that pressure as you push your feet into the floor, squeeze the block, squeeze the tushy. Shoulder blades are helping to lift the body away from the floor. Breathe down to your belly, down to the lower ribs, strengthening the top of the core of the diaphragm. Take one more breath. When you come down, make it slow so that you take away the tension from the hands and you begin to press the vertebra towards the floor, one bone at a time, until you come all the way down. Go slow so you can feel what's happening in your joints. Take your block out to the side. Bring your knees into your chest. And then rock onto your right side. Take your right hand underneath your head, your left hand on the floor in front of you, spreading the fingers. Bring that left knee in. We're going to use the left knee to kick away as a piston. You're going to go slow to strengthen that left shoulder, left back. Take your hand into the floor. Inhale, bring your knee in. And as you exhale, kicking your knee away, leading with the shoulder to push yourself up to a seated position. And then let's get our blankets. Coming onto all fours. One of my new favorite things to do is to crawl. So today we're going to be firing up the brain a lot and working on a lot of the balance aspects of the brain, the nervous system. So we did the cross crawl action on our backs when we did the core work. And then this is a cross crawl as well. Notice how one hand goes forward and the opposite knee comes forward. So it's a diagonal pattern that the brain works in. So we're getting our body to be in a really nice functional place right now. Go slow. Keep your head up. Look forward. Don't look down. Look forward so you strengthen your upper back and neck. So those of you that have the upper back and neck issues, this is going to strengthen, and you may feel some heat in your neck now as you're lifting up your head, trying to hold up this 10-pound head against gravity. And then bring yourself back to a center, come all the way up. So we don't think about it that way, but this head is about 10 pounds. And think about your upper back and neck holding this up for you all day long. If you were to see your cervical spine, the girth of the cervical spine is not that big. And that's the bony structure plus all those muscles that's holding this 10-pound object up against gravity all day long. And that's a lot. That's an interesting way. I mean, I went through my whole life not even thinking about that. And I think most of us don't. And then we end up computer, texting, leaning forward, and there's so much pressure on the upper back. And then that contributes to shoulder issues as well. So stay up here on your shins. Take your hands down alongside your body. Let's inhale. When you reach out, really reach out so you feel stretching on your body. You're not just casually doing this, you're actively doing this. Fingertips come up towards the sky. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky. You could look across the room where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then let your hands go back a little bit if that feels appropriate for you, a little back bend. And when your hands are up, you could flex your wrists if you'd like, reaching out the heel of the hand, stretching all the tissue in the upper body. Lift your lower ribs away from the legs. So feel like you're creating even more space in this part of your body. Take one more breath. And then drop one hand to the side, let the other hand go up and over. Whatever that means for you, however that feels. And then slowly bring yourself up. Bring the opposite hand up. When you bring it up, it's not just casually going up, it's with length and a little resistance as you lift up and laterally flex over. Feel that stretch on this side of your body. Keep your arm along your side of your body. Don't let it go forward. Arm is along the side of the body. And then bring yourself back down. Take your wrists, roll out your wrists. And then take the wrist. We're going to do a little stretch. So flex the wrist, stretch. Keep the arm straight. That's important. The arm is straight. And notice the shoulder has it elevated, and then lower that shoulder. Bend your wrist. Pull that hand towards you. Feel the heel of your hand reaching away from you, and feel the stretch now at the bottom part of the wrist. For those of you that have wrist issues, be in that part of your body with your mind. Even look at it with your eyes to notice what is safe and appropriate movements for your body. Bending your wrist. Bring your hand towards you. Notice if the shoulder has become a shoulder earring, and press that shoulder away from your head. And then flex that hand, reaching through the heel of the hand. And then take your wrists and shake, shake, shake. We're going to do that cross crawl action as well here, firing up in the spinal balance. Now, if your wrists are really bothering you, if you take the front edge of your mat and you roll, my cat's in it, my vitamins. All right, if you roll the front edge of your mat up, roll, 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 this will minimize the flexion in the wrist. And for many, this seems to be a little relieving for those that have wrist issues. And I'd say it's one of the main areas that people have discomfort with when they first start the practice of yoga. So if you need to do that, do that. And then walk your hands a little farther away from your body so you have a lot of space here in your torso. You're going to inhale, slide left leg back and right leg forward. The tip of your nose is straight down. Don't have your head looking forward. Inhale to lift the leg off the floor and the hand off the floor, and then exhale to lower. Inhale to lift off. Reach out each limb so you're nice and long, and then lower, and last one. Inhale to come up, stay here. Push your left fingertips into the floor like crazy so that you distribute the weight in your hand. If you want to add a little bit of challenge here, take the right foot off the floor. Make sure you contract the tummy and zipper up the tummy. If you want to challenge yourself, take your right arm out to the right. And then if you want even more, take your left leg out to the left. Challenge yourself going off center. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring yourself down. Let's switch. Take the left hand directly underneath, the right hand directly underneath the right shoulder. Slide your left hand away, slide your right leg away. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. Stay here. The gaze is down and a little bit forward. Contract your core, zipper up your core. If you'd like to take the left foot off, you can add that. If you'd like to take the left hand out to the left and or the right leg out, whatever is appropriate for you. Press your right fingertips into the floor, bring yourself back to center, and then bring yourself all the way back, come all the way up and shake. Spinal balance, fantastic, fantastic for strengthening so many aspects of our body. And for me, it should be one of the poses that's part of the osteo practice. Strengthening the wrist, strengthening so many areas, the back body for the balance. And then you feel that. You feel the core aspect of that and all of that. All right. Let's take the block now. We're going to come into a dolphin plank, strengthening the anterior chain. So with the block, you have the block like this, so the elbows are together, making sure the elbows are not out. If you don't have a block, you can bring your hands onto the floor like this. Make sure that this doesn't happen. You want to have stacked joints of the shoulder and the elbow to be really nice and supportive of the rib cage and the weight of the upper body. So let's take the block forward. Take your hands on the block and then bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. So at first, this is a modified plank where you have your lower limbs on the floor. And if you could try this, zipper up your midsection, let the low back move up towards the sky. So even those of you that are gonna wanna go a little bit bigger, try this at first. Press the hands into the floor, the elbows into the floor, and the knees into the floor. And then try to pull the elbows and the knees towards each other, really firing up those deep hip flexors and the deep flexor muscles of the entire body. So the lower ribs are trying to come closer to the top thighs. For those of you that want to come up a little bit higher, you could flip your toes under, come into full dolphin, where you zipper up your belly, low back up towards the sky. Everyone lengthen out the crown of the head, lengthen down the entire spine. If you're up on your feet, lengthening out of the heels. Deep breaths here. And then go ahead and lower down. Come all the way here into a Sphinx pose to stretch the front of the body. Let the low body be soft. Press your hands into the floor and then stretch the belly area by lifting away from the floor. And then we're going to come down into the floor to do our locust pose. So come down with a lot of length in your body. Have your pelvis be on the blanket. That'll help those front hip bones. Bring length in your body. Take your hands, fold your hands so that the forehead rests on the back of the hand. Let's do a little to warm up the back muscles, the erector muscle group that contracts to lift the head closer to the tushy area. On the inhale, lift up so the lower back comes a little closer to the buttocks. Press the arms into the floor when you lift up and then exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, stay here. The nose is pointing straight down towards the ground. The back muscles are contracting to lift you up. Pubic bone presses into the floor. Take one more breath. And then as you lower down, let your forehead touch the floor, let your nose touch the floor, let your arms go alongside your body. Walk your feet so that they're only about 4 inches apart. Lift one leg up and roll it so the inner thigh rolls up towards the sky. Internal hip rotation. And the same thing with the other leg. Lift it up and roll it so the inner thigh goes up towards the sky. Feel the pinky toes touching the floor. So the toenails are touching, and really feel those pinky toenails touch. Reach out the crown of your head, reach out your feet, reach out your hands. Inhale to rise. Bring your feet off the floor, bring your arms off the floor, bring your head off the floor in locust pose. Nose is pointing down towards the ground, arms are reaching up, legs are reaching up. Deep breaths here. Do whatever you can do. We're going for at least a 30-second hold here in this. If you need to come down, come down. If you want to take your arms out to the side, adding a little more tension. Take more breath. Then you're going to come all the way down. Turn your head completely to the left. Let your palms go on the floor. Palms are up. Backs of the hands are on the floor. The thumbs touch your body. And then let your shoulders round forward. Try to get your left ear or your right ear and your right cheek to touch. Your head is to the left. If you feel too much tension on your left side, you could take your left hand out to the side, palm is down, or you could bend the elbow to take away that tension. And this is a good indicator here for you to notice how much tension you really do have in your upper back and neck. Because for those with a lot of tension, it's hard to get the cheek and the ear to touch the floor. And you may need to bring in that relief by taking your arm out to the side. Let your shoulders round forward. You can let your elbows be a little soft here. Wiggle your pelvis back and forth. Take your legs a little wide here so you bring some softness into the low body. And you're going to tuck your chin down towards your chest, lift your head up, turn your head in the other direction to the right. Left ear, left cheek, try to touch the floor. Notice what you notice here. If there's too much tightness, you may need to take the right arm out to the side, palm is down on the floor, or bend the elbow. Breathe down to your belly, feel that gentle release in the low back. Take one more breath. Take your arm up, your right arm up, and roll onto your right side. Cradle your head in your right arm and bend your knees. It always feels so nice for me to take that time out to rest in that way after some of the strength poses. And that's what the asana practice is meant to be, is to go in and out of effort and ease. And it's just such a nice, loving thing to do for ourselves. Let's take the left hand on the floor in front of you, draw the left knee in, go slow here as you push your left hand into the floor and you strengthen that left upper body to bring yourself up. Coming back onto your slowly coming up.
So you got to let this calibration take place in your body from one level to the next, especially if you have blood pressure issues or you know you have some circulatory issues. It's better to be safe than sorry. So you're going to bring a foot forward and walk the foot pretty far forward. So you'll see my knee is behind my ankle joint. Flip your back toes under, take your hands on top of your thighs, inhale, and then you exhale to push forward and to bring yourself all the way up. We're going to prepare for the standing work. So when you bend down to get your blanket, take your legs a little wide, bend the hip joint, keep your spine in its natural curved state to grab your blanket, making sure you don't round your spine, which contributes to spinal fractures. Let's take our strap and our chair. So bring your chair and your strap. For those that are 5'8" or over, taller than that, it may feel a little better for your hip joints to be elevated in your seat. You could fold a blanket to sit on that. Then I'd like you to grab a strap. Could be a belt from the closet, could be a strap from your robe. Let's get a strap here. Now, I'm going to show you this at first, and the intelligence in your body, for those of you with shoulder issues, may say, oh my goodness, and just listen to whatever that voice is. So the first thing I'd like to do is have you take your strap as wide as you can, and you're going to inhale up. So it's a pretty wide, it's the full wingspan that you have, stretching shoulder, stretching chest. And then you want to keep your weight in the center of your buttocks. So try not to come into excessive extension in that lower back area. You reach your hands up. Now watch how the elbows stay straight. I'll show you some of what I see right around here. You're definitely going to feel some big stretching. Some of what I notice sometimes is people bend one arm to do this, bending the arm. There's no bent elbows here. This is straight, and this may not be for all of you. So for those that can come into this, if you can come here in a pretty wide stretch, feeling the chest stretch, pushing the heart forward, zipper up your tummy as if you were putting on super tight jeans and you needed to suck your tummy into the center and then away from the zipper. So there's an inward and backward activation of the core. Take one more breath and then bring yourself forward. Stretching a lot of those upper postural muscles. Let's take the strap. We're going to strengthen the rhomboids, which are muscles between the shoulders that pull the shoulders together and are very supportive when it comes to posture. So pull your strap as if you feel like you're ripping your strap apart. Really pull that strap. Take your strap above your head and press it back so it's behind your head. You're going to pull on the strap, reaching up, and then reaching down behind your head. Try to get clearance behind the head. Go all the way down to the very back part of your head by your neck. Pulling the strap, inhale up. Maybe there's some shaking that happens. Embrace whatever you can, firing up and working a lot of the upper back muscles. Zipper up your torso. So zipper with that core. Feel that even weight on your pelvic bones. Pulling the strap apart as you come down and up. Strengthening the back. And then one more, stay here. Feel like you're really pulling the strap, and the strap is not touching your head. The strap is away from your head. So do not let it rest on your head, and don't let your head be forward. Keep your head on top of your spine. Push the strap back. It's not resting on your head. Pull the strap, strengthen those muscles, push your heart forward, pull the strap apart. One more breath. And then go ahead and lots of tension in the upper back. Woo! Turning on those support muscles. Be forward if you're not forward, so you're not resting up against the back of your chair. You're moving your body up and away from the back of the chair. Come to the very front edge of the chair. Hands are down alongside your body. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, chin to chest. Arms go down alongside the body. Go slow here. Let those shoulder blades glide up and down your back. Palms go towards each other and hands go away. Okay, so
Let's do a little shoulder forward, shoulder up, back and down, shoulders forward, up, back and down. And then take the shoulders, squeeze them up to the ears so you have no neck, and then release. Squeeze them up to the neck, no neck, or up at the ears, and then release. Strengthening your upper back and neck muscles, really good for a lot of you that have issues in the upper back and neck. I'm turning my chair to the side. You don't have to. I just want to show you this. So you're going to come forward, and this is where that padding for those that are above 5'8" would come in really handy. Let's take your knees almost together, not quite, and then bring your feet back towards the chair. So you'll notice my knees are forward of my ankles. My ankles are not right underneath my knee. That's going to be important. Take your hands alongside your body. You're going to zipper up your belly as if you were putting on tight jeans and had to pull your tummy away from the zipper. Inhale. And then as you exhale, come forward, push your heels into the floor and just gentle lift off the chair. Gently, not very high. Push your heels into the floor. Now, if this is a challenge for you, don't worry, because not everybody will be able to do this, and it could be pretty challenging for a lot of you. And then we're going to come into what's called chair pose, Utkatasana. Come into chair pose, lightning bolt pose. So make your body like a lightning bolt. Make sure that you can see the tips of your toes so your knees aren't too forward. Push your knees back. Lift your arms up. Look across the room where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then zipper, zipper, zipper from the base of your torso up, up, up to the belly button. Low back pushes up towards your spine, towards the back wall. If you can go down a little deeper in your hips, find that. Contracting your core, pressing your belly back, strengthening the upper back to hold the head in this position. Take one more breath. And then bring your hands together. Push your hands together strongly, especially the heels of the hands, and then bring yourself all the way up. I'm sure you feel that, and I think if we were all together, there would be a lot of the group yoga orchestra might have made a group sound of or shh. So knowing that, yeah, that was a challenge. Coming on to your mat, let's do warming up the upper body to do some of the hip work that we do. So let's do a little sway side to side. And when you sway side to side, I want you to look at your pinky toe edges. The toes are pointing forward. So don't have the toes like this, external rotation. Toes are forward. When you push your body weight to the side, it's the whole pinky toe edge. Pinky toe edge, and especially the back part of the heel part of your foot. So feel the back heel, feel the whole edge of your foot, feel that coming up here into your side hip joint area, warming up those posterior hip capsules so we could pull on them and stress them out and get that femur head to lay down more bone for you. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's bring your feet to a neutral position, which is about 4 to 6 inches apart. Big toes are closer together. You see the pinky toe edges are almost parallel to the side. Then press your feet into the floor, press down, and now feel like you're gonna rip your mat apart. So you almost feel like the pinky toe edge, and especially the back heel, there's a lot of force that goes back there. Feel like you're ripping this mat apart and really feel that transmit up here in the side body. Pulling that mat apart, pull that mat apart, and then go ahead and come out just a little bit to warm up the movement patterns of the body. We're gonna lift up one hip, lift up one hip. Actually, take your hands on your waist here so that you'll actually feel like this hand is lifting up, this hand is lifting up. Think about this waist is getting shorter, this waist is getting shorter. This top pelvis comes closer to this low rib cage, top pelvis to rib cage. So let it be a deep movement, kind of like hula. I like to say that I think of it like this, just getting the pelvic movements to happen. And then we're going to do
Posterior, anterior, posterior, anterior. This is like Elvis Presley, I think. Posterior, anterior. So if your pelvis was a bucket of water, spill the water out the front of the bucket, spill the water out the back edge, out the front edge, out the back edge. Slosh that water. And then let's do a circular pattern. Circular in one circle pattern. Sometimes I like to think here, if you had a string with a Sharpie marker hanging down on the floor, you would draw a big circle on the floor with that Sharpie marker coming off your tailbone. And then let's go in the other direction. Getting a nice warmth to come into the body. And then bring yourself back to center. All right, we're going to come into a warrior two. Actually, a side angle is what I'd like to go to. Or we'll do warrior two and then side angle. So we don't really need the chair for this part. If you are, though, feeling insecure with balance, it is better to have a chair in front of you so that you'll come into the wider stance. The wide stance will let you put a lot of force into the hip joint area to cause all that stimulation in the hip capsule. So if you are precarious with your balance, be either near a wall or have a chair in front of you. Let's come with a really wide stance here. Let's go to your left side. So your toes are pointing forward. You're going to pick up your left toe, keep the left leg straight, and allow the leg to swivel on the heel so that the left toes are pointing to the left. Then pick the right heel up and move the right heel away. Right foot points in, left foot is to the left. Then you're going to put a little bit of bend in your knees. Press down that pinky toe edge of the right foot. Shoulders come forward, they come up, they come back and down. Reach the fingertips down. Keep your awareness in this back foot. Even take your hand. Go like as if you're pointing down towards the back edge of that foot. And then inhale, and then exhale, and then inhale. Push down on that edge of the foot. Feel that pressure. So your body goes straight down. Start to bend the left knee. Push the left knee to the left. Press your feet into the floor as you load down into this position, allowing that force to come into your hips. And then with resistance, bring the arms up. Make sure you don't have shoulder earrings. Reach out the fingertips. Make sure the hands are pressing towards the back. Really push that right foot into the floor. Push that left foot into the floor. Draw that energy up into your pelvis and then zipper up your pelvis. Lengthen your spine. Find that length. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Go a little deeper if you can. The deeper you go in the joints, the more force you apply to the joints. Keep your torso over your pelvis. Reach out your fingers, reach them to the sides. Take one more breath. We're going to go straight into the side angle, and I know some of you are new, so that's kind of crazy. Bend your left arm. Let's come down onto the top of that left leg first. And of course, if you need to come out, come out. Come onto the left leg. You can hang out here for a second, especially if you kind of need a little break. Then you're going to push your feet into the floor. Raise your arm up. Take that left arm and rotate your trunk forward so your heart faces forward. Reach your body forward. Press your legs into the floor. Go a little deeper if you can. And then if you want to go even deeper, take your left arm, put your left arm on the inside of that left knee and rotate. If you'd like to reach up and over, lengthening out that entire right side, really press that right foot into the floor. Feel that stretch, especially the adductors pulling on the pelvis. Left leg is pressing into the pelvis, compressive tensile force, strengthening your hips. Think about the bone strengthening happening here. Push your feet into the floor. Rotate your trunk. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to a warrior two and unbend your leg. Challenging to load up that leg for that long. Lots of strength in those leg muscles and in those joints. And of course, only stay as long as you can. Take that tension. Notice your heart rate, notice your body, maybe doing a little bit of seaweed, visualizing that you're a piece of seaweed. The roots are your feet, and there's a sway that comes into the body to let go of tension. Lots of bone building stimulation in that last movement we just did. Let's come and do the other side. So for many of you, the right side may be the stronger side. Toes are pointing forward. Lift the right toes up. Turn the right toes to the right. And then pick that left heel up. Move that left heel away. Strong foundation in that left foot. Shoulders are up, they're back, and they're down. Get nice and aligned here. Bending that right knee. Press your feet into the floor. And then the hands are down. Press those left fingers towards that left edge of the foot, especially where the ankle is. And then bending down, keep your torso on top of your pelvis so you don't let your body go forward. And if you press away from the floor with that left pinky toe edge, raise the arms up. That will keep you in that nice angular position we want to get into here. There's an intention for the asana in the practice to stimulate, to create space in different areas of the body. And this pose here, the warrior two, a great pose for creating stimulation in the hips, stretching, and compressive force. Press your feet into the floor, draw that up into your body, get nice and tall. Find that zipper action of the core as you zipper up, pulling the tummy away from the zipper, and then press your arms to the side, push that left pinky toe edge into the floor. Reach out your arms, lift your heart, lower your shoulders. Press your feet into the floor, draw that energy up into the pelvis. Take one more breath. We're going to come into that side angle. If you needed to take a break, you could come and unbend your leg for a second. Otherwise, you're going to come down onto that left leg. Maybe here you take a little second break to bring your arm up, to rotate your trunk forward. Now that's important here, looking for that rotation in the trunk. So we're putting some force now into the spine, creating force in the pelvis, pulling on the pelvis, and then getting that rotational aspect of the trunk. If you'd like to come in with that arm on the inner leg, that'll help you get a little more rotation. Press your feet into the floor. Find that movement in the pelvis. Rotate your trunk forward, let your arm go back, take one more breath. And then keep your knee bent as you bring yourself back up to your warrior two, and then come all the way out. All right. Feels good. Feels strong, feels good. Lots of muscular support for the joints, for the bones. All right, so that was two kind of intense ones that we did there. So the chair, I'd like us to do, So I'd like to do a warrior three. So that was warrior two and side angle. I'd like to do a warrior three pose, and this can be a challenge. And I know that some of you are new here, so I'm going to definitely give different variations of this. So let me just show you. So a traditional warrior three pose would be this. So this is a warrior three. It's a single leg standing pose. One leg is back, the arms are forward. What you want to make sure with the warrior three is that you don't open up your hips. So when we're so eager to get this leg high, people come into an open hip position. And that is another pose, the Ardha Chandrasana. Our goal here is to keep the hips down towards the ground. There might not be a lot of lift. And then if you're newer to the practice, your warrior three may look like this. So the deeper hip flexion is for those that have a little bit of a stronger practice and some stronger muscles developed in that hip joint. So let's do the left leg first. And I like to do the chair here because it's really great to get the alignment here. So make sure your left toes are pointing forward. Your hands are on the back of the chair, the top part of the chair. And then you begin to bring the right knee up. Now, maybe you never let go of the chair, or you could try to put the right hand on the chair, keep the left hand on the chair to keep you in that nice anatomical alignment, or you may even take the left hand off the chair. So that diagonal pattern we've been working with today. Right leg is lifted, left arm is lifted. Either coming into this full flexion position or
you go a little less flexion. Flexion is the bending of the hip. So come into whatever feels appropriate to you. Push your body back so that you're in the heel of the left leg. We're standing on the left leg. Grab the floor with the left toes, especially the big toe. Really active feet. 6 points in the back of the heel, 6 points in the front of the foot, pressing that big toe in like crazy. Reach out the right leg wherever it is. Reach out the left arm if it's up. Take one more breath. And then bend that left knee. Keep your back nice and natural curve to come out. So I would say that to go into Warrior 3 and then to do 2 poses back to back is definitely not beginner. I would say that this is a little bit more of an advanced practice. And then you determine when you come into each of these, how long you stay, or if you do them back to back, and if you take a break. Let's take the right toes are forward, and that alignment is important. So make sure the toes are not pointing out to the side. You want to make sure that you have that alignment of the toes forward. So you're going to load up that hip joint with this nice force in a nice aligned way. Hands are on the chair. As you load up the hip first, keep your spine nice and long. Reach your leg back, zipper up your core. So you may bring the opposite hand onto the chair and the other hand up the back, depending on what's appropriate for you. If you'd like to lift that opposite arm off, you can. And then I didn't say this on the other side, but if you want to bring both hands up, that's an option as well. So find what's appropriate for you and your body. Zipper up your belly, protect your low back. Move your body weight back so it's definitely in the heel of the standing leg. Look down at that standing foot without rounding your spine. Lifting the leg, lifting the hand, press the feet into the floor. Press the big toe into the floor, grab the floor with the feet, looking straight down at your fingers or forward so you're not rounding your spine. Reach long out of your fingers, long out of that leg. And then take one more breath. And then bend that knee in the front to take the tension out. Okay. So that's a lot of stimulation in this most precarious place of the body to fracture if you fall or trip or whatever, is this whole pelvic area, the femur bone, the head of the femur, the pelvis. So a lot of the standing work we did today created a lot of stimulation there. All right, the good news is the last pose of the day is the best pose or the most relaxing pose. We're going to come back with our legs in the chair. It'd be nice to even have an elevation of something. So if you have another blanket or bolster, I'll show you this. Maybe you have it for this time or maybe not. And if not, something you get for the next time. Bringing yourself, getting your props. By reaching your hand away. And then if you do have something at home when you're doing your legs at the chair, you could put something underneath the sacral area. Gives a little more of an inversion. Could be nice and relaxing for the nervous system. And then this is the one pose that I definitely hold a lot longer than 30 seconds and even longer than the minute 12 seconds. This is the Shavasana pose, the pose of peace, of relaxation. So allow your body and your mind to find peace and relaxation. Gently begin to deepen your breath, bringing your awareness to your fingers and your toes. As you wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Roll your ankles, your wrists. If you have something underneath your pelvis, bring your feet a little closer, lift your pelvis up, take it out to the side. Bring your body back down onto the ground. And draw the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. Rocking all the way on to the right side. Cradling your head. Take your left hand on the floor. Open up that left hand, leading with the shoulder. Bring yourself up to a seated position. We're going to close the practice with sound, blending the ah from the lower ribs, the o from the middle, and the from the upper. The ah, o, a-u-m, a-o-m, om sound.
Take your hands together, let your thumbs touch your sternum bone. Take a deep breath down to your belly. At the end of the practice, we bow to each other, saying the word namaste. Namaste. This is a mutual respect of the light that's in me, recognizes and honors that same light that exists in you. So thank you. Namaste. So yes, there was a couple of new people here today, and Linda, I'm pretty sure that was appropriate for you because I think you have a pretty strong, I think you're pretty determined to have stronger bones, which is going to happen because you do have all of that desire. And then I'm not sure, I've not met you, Liz, so I hope you're okay. Hi, Sharon number 2, right? Because I know Sharon number 1. But great, a lot of you here today. Athena! Oh, Athena was here. You're welcome, Rosemary. You're welcome. Yes, great. Yeah, Linda, this is great for you. Like the classes, all the stuff you're learning is fantastic. And then taking that and being able to do this. So these are recorded practices. You'll be able to practice this if you'd like. And this is definitely going to strengthen all of your bones. Little challenge today, definitely in that standing work. Jeannie, you're welcome. Dina, great. Yes. Oh, I was wondering how you would like that because that can be really a lot of tension there. So a lot of upper back and neck support today, which was really nice too. Carolyn, you're welcome. Great. Yeah. Joyce. So Joyce, you're here, and Linda from class is here as well. This is the first week of my 4-week session that I teach for Torrance Memorial Hospital. I was teaching 7 classes, so I teach 4 classes this session. So I'm here this Thursday, and then I'll be here the 3 Thursdays in December, and then I'll be off. So this is like my next 4-week session. And then some of you here are in my 4-week bone health lifestyle course online, which I just began, and I'm going to do more of them in the new year, which is great. So it's 8 hours of a lot of information, nutrition, mindset, and the physical practice. So thank you so much. Let me see. Stevie. Oh, Stevie's here too. So Stevie, Joyce, and Linda, all from the Bone Health Lifestyle course, which is awesome. I am so happy to have you back, Stevie, because you're always in class. So to not have you is almost like having bread without butter or whatever. You know how there's things that go together. So I'm so happy to have you back. Sharon, so great to have you. Great. Athena, I missed you. It's so nice to have you back as well. And then Shannon, awesome. Wow, well, that's great. And Susan, great. Yeah, Susan, and some of these ladies here. So did I say Carolyn's here? And where are they? Maybe they're on vacation or something. But yeah, I shared that many of the students that practice with me have improved their bone density, either moving out of osteoporosis into osteopenia or moving out of osteopenia into no bone density issues. Some of you here don't have bone density issues yet, and partly because we're too young, because the greatest increase is 5 to 7 years post-menopause when the estrogen levels decrease. And that may not happen if we continue to do this work as the estrogen is diminishing. So thank you, Kathy. So good to have you. Oh, great. You like that ab. Yeah, now that I'm not doing my balance classes, I'm trying to do a mishmash. So the ab one, Kathy, I don't know if you're talking about the diagonal. That's an amazing ab. Ab and brain. So you're getting your brain and your belly, the BB. We'll call it the BB ab, brain and belly. Anyway, thank you. This is fun. Liz, I hope that this is, there's a relaxing part too, even though it's super challenging, right? And that's what I love. Okay, great. Oh, the strap behind the head. Yeah, so not everybody, some people have a hard time with that. So see if that works for you in terms of whatever issues you have in your tissues. All right, I'm off for now. I'm back on Saturday, yoga and stress reduction. little slower pace, not quite as challenging in the physical asana. But anyway, so yeah, if you want to join me, I'll be here Saturday, 9:30 to 10:45. I'm off to see the wizard. A wonderful wizard of Oz. All right. Bye. Thank you for joining me.